Hey everybody, it's the Any Thoughts podcast. It's me, Benny,
Me, Bradley.
It's your boy Big Mo. What's up?
It's me, Ivy. What's up?
and we have a new challenger approaching, somebody unknown, and her name is Lil Snacky,
AKA Summer
aka
Levinson.
Summer Larson.
Yeah, hey,
Hello.
you can't call a little snacky unless you're on the streets for real.
True.
Quarantine affected everybody hard, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna do a short slaps and chaps to hear an epic story by Brad. So, if you want to start, Brad.
Yeah, I'll start. It's a really quick story. I don't know how this happened or when it happened, but I went on a run yesterday, and after my run, I noticed my bike was stolen.
What the
And-
fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Last week was my identity being stolen. I got my credit card. I got a new credit card, and everything's fine with that. But now this week is that my bike got stolen. I don't know how. I don't know who. It was a key lock. It was locked up, and it wasn't like my bike was the only bike that was there. Yeah, I know, man. Like honestly, I don't even know, man. I was blown. It was just because I was just like, yo, who the fuck was stealing my bike? Like I was just like, there's like other bikes around my bike. Why mine? So I guess that really was what blew me.
Some-
but honestly,
some
I
crack-
thought, yes, it's probably some dude.
Some-
Probably look.
Some
Looking for-
crackhead has a hard on for your bike, like legit.
Honestly, I don't know. Like it had a flat back, had a flat tire on it. Like I need to get air in it. I don't know why somebody would steal that bike, knowing that back tire didn't have any air to it. But I was just so blown. Ruined my whole entire day yesterday. Luckily I did call the police today and file a police report. So if they do find my bike, that's great. Hopefully I can get some insurance money off of it, because it's been stolen. And hopefully, because I've been living here for a very long time, and I've never had any problems with theft or thievery around this area. But yeah, it's really scary, man. It really is,
Crazy.
But
That's insane.
That's pretty much it. I guess we can move on to our main whole meat and potatoes of the episode. And this is why we brought on somebody like Summer onto here, was to talk about being a female in a business area, in a business situation, business environment. So we're gonna ask Summer some questions, and she's gonna ask us some questions during this segment of our show. And we really want,
First, who's Summer?
yeah. So yeah, Summer, take it away.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
a
give
little
us your background.
introduction. So I'm a master's student at University of Florida. I'm studying international business, and I'm going to be graduating literally next week. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's a ceremony, but I think I'm still really happy that I have my master's degree now. Now I'm looking for jobs. Hopefully, we'll get one soon. And yeah, what should I say? I'm from Fort Lauderdale. I was born and raised there. I'm half white, half Peruvian, so I have both cultures in my family, and I get to learn from both cultures. I think that's pretty great. And I'm an only child. And what should I say? Some of my favorite things to do, maybe. I like to take photos, and I love anything that has to do with art. And I love snacks.
Clearly.
Clearly.
I hope that's a good intro.
What part of Fort Lauderdale, actually?
Specifically Davie. We moved to Fort Lauderdale, but Davie is like right next to it. So.
Okay. Yeah, I used to. Well, so I'm from South Florida too.
Oh
I'm
wow.
from, like North Miami area.
Oh
So
nice.
yeah, we would run at Vista View Park in Davie area, Southwest Ranches. So
Yeah, I know that place.
Nice.
Cool. Love it.
great stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
who's gonna start? Benny or Mo?
I mean, with that, the first question is, what's the biggest challenge being a woman in business? Former Presidente.
Yeah.
Ooh, biggest challenge. I feel like women aren't taken as seriously as men. I don't know if you guys. I mean, obviously you're all men, so I don't know what you guys think about that, but I don't think they take us as seriously. I think being a minority as well, you're not taken as seriously. I know in regards to pay gaps, women who are Hispanic or Black get paid significantly less than women who are white or Asian. That's a really big challenge. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
No, I mean, I do feel you on that. Sometimes people of minorities do get treated sometimes as second-class citizens. Their opinions and their ideas sometimes may get stolen by other people.
Yeah.
That personally has never happened to me so far in my work. When I've worked before with engineering companies, I hope it never happens to anybody. But if it does, I mean, please, like, always talk to HR, human resources, to figure something out and to figure out what can you do to stop this from happening again. And if they're not wanting to facilitate you, I mean, I know right now, I mean, you don't want to quit your job during a time like this, but if things are in a better circumstance, definitely do consider maybe leaving if HR or any other people who are supposed to help you not to have these problems aren't helping you properly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, like when I worked at like my internship at an engineering company, like there was this old guy who like had this thing where he felt like women were like subclass citizens, and it was like so like,
Wow.
weird. Like it was like because like if for example he was sure normally, but then when he had to deal with like any woman there, he'd be like really condescending or like he wouldn't even want to like talk to them. And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yeah, because it was a weird thing. I'm like, I always like figured like, if it's real, like this is happening. Not that I ever denied it. It'd probably be from somebody who's older. But at the same time, the fact that it was that blatant in front of me made me upset, and like, eventually I started asking him like, yo, what's your problem? And then like people told me in the office that basically like his wife left him and that's why he thinks that way or something like that, which is still not excusable.
Yeah, it's
It's
never
not an
good.
excuse.
Yeah, but
It's
it
not
was
an
just
excuse.
to see that. So like I'm totally with you on that because it was just like surprising that like that's still around and to be considering that like every company you work at is going to have a bunch of older people in there,
Yeah.
especially something like business. So like you're going to have to be dealing with that until like that old generation kind of fades away, which won't be for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Well,
true.
actually, now that coronavirus exists, we can't be really too sure since all the oldies are going to be popping off soon. And I'm happy about that because go boomers at this point.
Soon.
Yeah, it's so another thing is I was talking to a coworker and I was like, yeah, I mean, I identify as a feminist, but not that the going on internet and like typing stuff in front of a mirror and saying, oh, me too and all that. I don't believe in all that. I do believe in the Me Too movement. I'm not saying I don't believe in the Me Too movement. I just don't believe in doing stuff for social media. I believe in actual causes, like actually doing something, like actually contributing. So we were just talking about that.
Hot girls for Bernie, bro.
Sorry?
You don't believe in hot girls for Bernie, bro?
Hot girls for
Hot girls for
that is such
Bernie.
a dumb movement.
That is such a fucking dumb movement. Like, seriously.
I've not heard
And, like-
about this.
Yeah. Elaborate. What is it?
It was a weird thing that was trending on Instagram like right before Bernie dropped out of the race, and like it was
yet again.
like the hashtag hot girls for Bernie, and
Yeah.
all it was very attractive women just posing with their Bernie shirts. It was just funny, but
Yeah.
Why we're not getting taken seriously?
I mean, you kind of
See,
said
this
it
is-
right.
One
Simran.
second.
It's- go on.
I have to say this. So someone I know said, oh, like about this podcast, they're like, oh, you guys were very degrading towards women. You all make fun of like porn stars in our previous episodes, which we didn't. Just want to clarify on like, oh, you guys don't respect women. I was like, just to put things in perspective, every time you talk about women empowerment, another girl is getting naked for Dan Bilzerian.
Exactly.
Just to put things in perspective, I'm like, if you really want to be taken seriously, I think you'll have to like just band together and like tell those women, yo, don't do this. I'm just saying.
Well,
But anyways,
I don't think it's on them for that. You're gonna have outliers in any group, like like unrelated but related. I was in Walmart the other day and I sent the boys a snap and I was like, you know, you can just kind of smell the thought from here, you know, just I started to think like, what's the no, but it was
I'm
that
sure what a thought means, Benny. You gotta explain what a
No,
thought.
I know what it means, but
Oh,
like,
okay. I didn't know.
no, but I mean like
I
the
thought
thing
you
is,
were innocent.
I started thinking about it and I was like, what is the male equivalent? And then like it was just kind of like, you know, like if it's like what are the signals of
I
like,
know.
oh yeah, you know, like what are the signals of like, yo, that's a trashy man, like besides the fact that he might have like, you know, besides the fact that he might have like gold teeth, like I think that's a little bit different, that's just more on the ghetto side,
It's
you know, but
honestly when their pants are basically to the ground. That's insanely unattractive. I'm like, just put your pants up. I don't know.
Or would you say something like
yeah, I think that's a good equivalent.
would you
Yeah.
say
I don't think we don't want to see your drawers.
muscles?
Yeah.
Right.
Would you say
Ah.
that the guy was like showing off his muscles and
What?
stuff like that? Like if a guy was just showing off his muscles a lot, like you go to like Midtown, a guy just takes off his shirt just to show off.
Yeah, or if you're just wearing like a tank top, it's definitely to show off your arms, and it's like
Yeah.
we know that, you know, it's pretty obvious.
Wearing
Oh
gray
my-
sweatpants
But-
shorts.
Sweatpants shorts,
Gray sweatpants or
Gray
gray
sweatpants.
sweatpants.
gray sweatpants,
sweatpants.
like pants or shorts.
The shorts.
The shorts?
See
No, I mean,
that?
I think it's pants, dude.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's pants. Like
No,
the
no,
the full thing.
I
The full
have a
thing.
pair of gray sweat shorts that are gray, and that's like a meme. Like girls like it when guys wear gray sweat shorts because you can see like their
Junk.
genital print.
Gotcha.
See, Summer's shaking her head. She's like, yeah, oh, I know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I've never heard of sweat shorts before. So,
But yeah, I guess wearing clothes that really accentuate the male body.
so it would be the sweatpants.
yeah,
Or sweatpants, like sweat shorts.
I have
they're
shorts.
sweatpants, bro.
I love wearing.
Yeah.
I have a pair of them. I can show you them right now. I can do a model. One
I
right
really
right
want
now.
you to
Are you
accentuate
gonna
your
model right now?
Just come
I'm
back.
Not gonna.
Platinum.
I'm on. Guys, I'm on Brad with this one. I'm with Brad on this one. I have a pair of gray sweat shorts, and not gonna lie, they're very comfy and they do accentuate certain parts of my body, which I'm just gonna say I enjoy. I don't wear it out in public. But
You know,
I do.
I got my-
They look good. They look good on
out
them.
in public because I didn't give a fuck, and then I didn't realize like the meme was like, and I was like, oh fuck, you're right. But you know, like, so then I stopped doing that in public. You know, I don't want to come off as a douche.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
but
guess-
anyways, like.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, so back to the topic at hand. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Oh, he doesn't support equal pay." He's like, "Oh, and he started quoting Jordan Peterson to me. For those people who don't know who Jordan Peterson is, he's this famous psychologist, and like he's known as he shuts down the militant feminist brigade, or anti-male feminist brigade. So he's at least, or that's how he's known. I don't think he likes that title. So he started quoting this stuff to me, like, oh, if we don't believe in an equitable society, so because the moment you turn into an equitable society, you're leaning towards socialism, and he started like quoting all this junk, and I was just like, yeah, but there are cases where people of like minorities, like women of minorities, are being genuinely paid lesser than women of say a specific culture, say white or Asian, like Summer mentioned, and these are obvious things that we have to address. And then he started going off on a slight tangent where he said, oh, but women use their sexuality to get jobs. And this is something which I genuinely wanted to ask you, Summer, is it true that it's projected that women use their sexuality to, or I won't say sexuality because that's a little degrading, but use their charm and wiles to, I won't even say wiles, these are his words, to land a job or land a cushy position. Just not my, this is something which I'm genuinely curious about, because I don't like, I guess in an interview it's all about how gregarious you come across, or how sociable you come across. So what's your take on this?
I don't think that's the case for women. I mean, I feel like it's the same with men. If we're talking about charm, I mean, I feel like they could also charm a woman interviewer the same way. Um, I feel like that this doesn't make sense. I don't understand that because sometimes like there's phone call interviews. I mean, you're just talking like or video chat interviews. There's no way that you could use your sexuality or just answering questions. I guess if it's person face-to-face interview, but usually you have panel interviews and there's multiple people and it's really hard to do that. So I don't really see his point there.
The only instance I can think of would be like my boss, like for example, like I worked in like kind of like the machine shop kind of stuff, like metalworking and stuff like that. So obviously it's like pretty much male dominated because it's not really that kind of fascinating of a field anyways. But like there was this one company, and I don't care, I'll say the name, but it's pretty obvious what they're doing. But like there's this one company that basically they just sell like metal. They sell like just a stockpile of all sorts of things that you would use to machine, and they're called fries. And their entire book is basically just a bunch of like beautiful women in the front cover to call them to make a sale. And the messed up part is like boss was telling me, he was like, yeah, he's like, I knew a lady that worked there and basically she slept with the CEO and now she's co-CEO. So there you go. And so I mean, I'm not saying like I agree with you, Summer, in the sense that like, yeah, I think it's probably very hard if like you're just trying to get a job, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, like you have people like that who are like, if they're in the right place at the right time, that's not to say it couldn't happen either, But that's just an experience I've had from my boss telling me that because I thought it was pretty funny and always stuck with me.
I actually have a question for you, Summer. This will be really quick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of like generalize what Amog was saying, like outside of like interviews. But do you see? How am I gonna word this? Do you feel like women are like more like apt to like get what they want, And do you see an issue with that?
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
So kind of, like Amog was kind of saying like, okay, like do they use like okay, so pretty much do you feel like women use their charm like in a lot of situations to get something or to get I don't know whether it could be something simple like, oh, can this guy like buy me a drink or something like that, or outside of the club, like, oh, can I get this or that? Do you feel like that's pretty common like now? Or
I would say yes. I have a friend who actually, this was in the past, but she got Tinder just so she could charm these guys to buy her dinner, and she would just go out with the guys to eat. Like she was like, I'm hungry. I don't have money for food sometimes, so I'm just gonna go and hang out with these guys and then have food and then never call them again.
What a queen.
So, I know. I'm like, I don't.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
That's very. Go on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the statement which is running in all our minds. Doesn't that come across as a bit opportunistic?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, like this thing, like, you can say that, but it's like, that's not all people. Like, I think that's kind of where it's at. Like, like, it's like, sure, could it be easier if you did that? Like, no guy's going to be able to pull that off unless, I don't know, you have, like, the charm of, I don't know, like,
Zac Efron.
That's just never, like, that's just not going to happen. But it's like, at the same time, it's also on the guy's part to be like, well, this girl seems only interested in me for dinner. So like, I mean, like it goes both ways, but like,
right.
Honestly, like, while it might be opportunistic, I think it's kind of funny. And it's like, if you're a guy that falls for that, you kind of suck with yourself, but that's just me.
I mean, I think it goes both ways. I think it goes both ways because there are some dudes out there, when they get a date with a girl, they want to impress them the most. And again, some people you're going to meet people in life where they're going to take advantage of you. And, is it your fault because you came in there with good intentions and somebody else came in there with bad intentions? No, it's not necessarily your fault. So sometimes you just get tricked. But, I'm just saying, like, I think both people on both sides, are messed up. A guy being a little bit too gullible and the girl just taking advantage of the fact that she is, old lady. She knows guys would go on a date with her, and she's using that to help her gain an advantage. But hey, there's a good saying: all is fair in love and war. So
But it says a lot about the person that they're willing to brag that that's what they do.
yeah, I mean,
That's kind of what I wanted to bring up. I was like, yo, that's kind of fucked up. But okay, you know what? It's not. I mean, of course, it's at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be that way. I mean, you're just going.
Yeah.
This is like, I think this is like some weird. Like these are the outliers. It's just like who use use their particular situation to like get something out of it.
I mean, to be honest, they're one step away from an OnlyFans. Like it's just one of those.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. It's like you know how like people sell their nudes online.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Think of it like it's premium Snapchat on steroids. That's literally what it is.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's mainly there for anybody really, but majority females, of course, to go on there and post lewd pics, videos of themselves doing whatever to entice the man to pay. And
it's also very interactive. So like at least this is from what I understand about it is it's also like really interactive where you have like with like comment section is there, it's included, and like it's like you put in some amount and then the girl does that thing. It's kind of fucked up, but equal. Like it's on lines with Cam Soda if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cam show basically.
But like, do you guys see an issue with that? Like, she's making a business out of it, Like, is there an issue?
I was gonna ask, what do you guys think of women who do that? I mean, yeah.
Honestly, my thing is that hey, listen, you realize that hey, there is a market for this. Just how girls, hey, look, if some random dudes text you saying, hey, send me pictures of your feet, or hey, like send me pictures of whatever.
Right.
Why not get paid through that through other legitimate business? Now, hey, it may hurt you down the line because eventually, I think there is a shelf life to doing stuff like that. Unfortunately, eventually you're gonna get old. Eventually, it's always gonna be that younger, hotter girls will always be 5 years down the line is gonna replace you. So I mean, it may hurt you down the road with getting jobs. Like let's say trying to work for an actual like company out there. But hey, if you realize, you know what, I can make a nice solid little chunk of money on the side just by staying at my house. I don't have to go to some type of strip club or split my earnings with the owner. I mean, I go in there, I do whatever I want to do. I do forever as long as I want to do it. I can choose the time when I want to do it. By all means, make your money, sis. I got nothing to say about that. I'm mainly mad at the dudes who are paying for that, where they can pay for other services and still get the same amount, but get a lot more of that amount.
Right.
It's like going to a supermarket, paying for all these little pieces right here, where you can pay for something for that same amount of price to pay for all those little pieces. You can pay for a lot more. You get the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm getting mad at the dudes, not the girls who are making the money. Hey, if you see a business, an opportunity there, get your money. I wish I'd have the opportunity right now. I wish I could. I'm broke. It's a joke. I need money. So please subscribe. Please.
Yeah. No, I mean like that's the thing. I totally agree with Brad there because it's like, like honestly, like if you think it's gonna be my future, like, and you don't really care about jobs or anything like that, like more power to you. And if there's guys actively paying for it, like that's the guy's fault, not really anybody else's. Like it's like there's a market there. Like for example, like I recently knew this girl I went to high school with. Like she's like, oh, I started an OnlyFans, and then she starts posting like stuff like, oh, it's so much better to have guys be like, how much for this picture versus, hey, like they're just hitting her up randomly and like saying sexual shit. And she's like, this is such a paradigm shift. And I'm like, well, good for you, sis. Like,
hey, yo,
yeah, literally. Wow.
The way I understand it is from what Brad's analogy was that, why do you want to go to a supermarket and pay like if you want to eat a pizza, you can either get the different ingredients to make a pizza, or you can order one from Papa John's.
Yeah.
So from at least this is what I wanted to say. That was number one. Number two is I kind of agree with what Brad is saying, that if this is literally what you want to do, and it's really up to you at this point. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. Me personally, I've made the mistake once of investing in this service because I was really lonely and bored. And not gonna lie, it almost ended up getting me, like, I almost got scammed out of $150. And that's, yeah, it's let's not go into that. I recovered the money, we filed a complaint, all that stuff. We got that sorted out. It's out in the open. Everybody knows about it now. But yeah, like, this is something which I personally will never get into, because I'm not going to fall for that shit again. But having said that, guys, I will say this to any guy out there: don't do this. There's, just because you're lonely, it doesn't mean that you have to do this. Go out there and talk to people, get an actual human interaction around you instead of doing this. But no, I don't know who's going to listen to me after this, because it's maybe I just hope that there's one simp out there who's actually listening and be like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I'm just trying to address the simps over here. Hopefully. Ivy?
Yeah, so
got really serious.
Kind of listening to your points, I don't feel like it's a bad thing. Really, I don't think it's like a crime that girls have been doing this lately, like on Instagram and stuff. But I remember I was actually watching a YouTube video, and I was actually watching a few YouTube videos, and there was one. It was this guy talking, and he was talking about how this one girl OnlyFans is making $12,000 a month on OnlyFans.
What?
And she has a boyfriend, and the boyfriend, was fine with it and everything. And I was just thinking, like, man, that is like so crazy. Like, we go to college, and we're trying to like get these degrees, try to start up our careers, and then you have some, like, a girl who knows, okay, like, I know I'm attractive enough where I can like pull a lot of guys, but like $144K a year, 18 years old, like that is
it either. Like, that's the funniest part.
Yeah.
But is it taxable? Now my question is it taxed?
No, because the thing is, like, that's like, there's a meme that floated around a long time ago where it's like, before, I guess, OnlyFans was popular, there's like premium Snapchats. So then, like, I guess, like, some guy got pissed off at whatever e-girl was doing it, and then he had them audited to the IRS.
Yeah.
And so then it was taxable. Like, that's the thing. So, like, I think currently she probably doesn't pay any taxes on it, but if some guy decides to get real angry about something, like, it'll be taxable.
Yeah, it's considered under the table, I'd assume.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how OnlyFans does it. They may take a couple percentage points off the transaction, but I know, like, you have to pay in order to use the site, and then once you're on the site, you have to pay again just to see that specific person you want to see sometimes, and their content.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if OnlyFans is that how OnlyFans is just keeping the tax revenue going. But so, what about you? How do you feel about ladies out there who are doing this? Well, I guess sex work and just in general.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of your points, especially Brad's. I think there's a market for it, and if they need to pay bills and they can't pay because some jobs really just pay them very little hourly, and they might even have, I don't know, a family or to take care of kids, they got to do what they got to do. And sometimes they make triple, almost more than that times an hour than what they would get if they were a waitress or something.
Yeah.
So if they pay and they need to help their family, I mean, I understand that. Let them do what they want to do. So
I almost compare it to like stripping,
mm-hmm.
Like, it's our generation's version of stripping. Like, it was a joke when you go to college. Oh, you got to strip your way through college. And now the joke is, oh, yeah, do your OnlyFans way through college,
Mm-hmm.
Not even good.
Like, honestly, like, I mean, this thing about, like, I guess how this thing has changed. Before, like, go to a strip club. Now it's just like you have a strip club on your phone, basically.
Yeah, everything's digital.
Wow. I mean, if you really think about it, Channing Tatum pretty much, like, he first started off as a stripper, then he became a dancer, and then he got a role in like Step Up and stuff. So if you really think about it, That's pretty much how it is. Like literally, if you look at Channing Tatum's moves, they're like, this like homeboy is a fucking stripper. Like, the way he moves.
Yeah, or like
Okay,
Cardi B was a stripper too. She was making money.
Who?
Cardi B.
Who?
Cardi B, yeah, Cardi
Oh
B.
yeah, Cardi B. Yeah.
But again,
Cardi B
those
was a
are
stripper.
two out of how many people who are in that profession, though.
True.
And again, like I went to Amsterdam during the summer a couple summers ago, and I was talking to one of my friends, and we were just talking about maybe like because Amsterdam is legal, prostitution is legal there. So I was just thinking to myself, what if these girls are probably in college? You know, some of these girls are in college, they gotta pay their bills and stuff like that. This might be a way that how they, you know, in order for them to still be in college and still working on a part-time, you know, it may not be the most glamorous job out there, and yes, there is a shelf life to a lot of that stuff. Unfortunately, you know, you can't, you know, I'm not being mean or anything, but a 6-year-old lady is not going to get the same amount of business as a girl in her 20s.
Right.
Now you never know. There are plenty of dudes out there who probably like that, but I guess the majority of people out there are going to like that younger model. Just saying. Not trying to sound sexist or mean out there, but you know, unfortunately, that's how life goes. Everybody always wants a younger, more newer model. I hate to compare girls to cars like this, but unfortunately, like OnlyFans, I guess sex work in general, it's always the younger looking, better looking person that people tend to want, most likely.
I mean, they got 20 years to make $12,000 a year, so it's not a bad gig.
Yeah,
That's a nice retirement plan with 401k right there.
If your girlfriend decided to do that, would you be accepting of it, or would you tell her like hell no?
I'll be accepting of it as long as I get a piece of the action.
Actually, here's the fucked up part.
I mean, like,
I would be okay with it. I'm not gonna lie. I would actually kind of be okay with it.
You'd be okay with a random guy like, oh, can you send me pictures of your feet? Like, you'd be fine with that.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
just like, you know, like if they're in and they're willing to pay, that guy's the sucker, you know, like.
Okay.
And look,
And how do you know? And how do you know? And how do you know whether my girl is sending a picture of her feet?
True.
Like, I mean, for all you know, she could be literally Googling those pictures. Like, how do I know whether the feet pics that you have sent me are actually of your feet?
True.
Well, I don't know, man. This girl moved out as white and her feet are black, so I don't know what's going on here.
Well, I think
like, I think I'd be okay with it if like times are tough and it's like, yo, we need the money. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I think it'd be different. It's like,
Fed.
so if I go on a date with a girl for the first time, and we're just talking, she's like, "Oh, I have OnlyFans," I'll be okay with it. But if I'm like dating, if I'm dating a girl for like a year or something, and she's like, "Oh, hey, honey, I'm thinking of making an OnlyFans," that's where I'm like, okay, like,
So
she, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I went on a date with someone who is in this industry, and I didn't know she was. And like she like we were at a sushi joint, and she was like, yeah, I started like 150 films, and I literally spat out the sushi because I was like, yo, what the fuck? It's not something you dump on someone the first time you meet them. And then I was like, yo, you look really familiar. Now that explains why you look so familiar. I've seen some of your work. So yeah, like she's really famous. Like she was on, she like showed up at she invited me. She was like,
friends had to your story of the particular individual, like, said enough.
yeah, like it turns out like okay, so
literally like our one friend like,
jumped out of his
like,
chair.
Yeah, like he legit looked like he mid-orgasm as a Moke said. And like it was really bad. And like the thing is, like, he was like, who? The library scene? Like he's odd. And keep in mind, like, I didn't know who this person was at all. So like I just kind of looked at him like, bro, you need help.
Like, I mean, I'm like, dude, you literally, like, I think any more, like, if you spend any more time with your computer screen, you'll probably just jump into the computer at this point. Because, and like, I didn't know her. Like, I'd seen her before. I'd seen some of her work for obvious reasons. And I was like, yo, this chick looks really familiar. And I thought she was a fake personality. Like, we were on Tinder, and turns out we matched, and all that is great. And I didn't know who this person was. until like I met her and like we went on an actual date because I legit thought that I was being catfished. Luckily, I wasn't. And we went out on a couple of dates. We hung out. We had some fun. But like long story short, like she invited me to one of her like adult cons. She was like, "Yeah, just come. Like we'll have fun then." And like she, like backstage passes, all that fun stuff. Like I I didn't ask for it. I was just like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come." Like, and she's like, "Yeah, I have a backstage pass. You can come check it out and stuff." And yo, the amount of people who showed up for that thing, I was like, what the fuck, man? There's some horny dudes around the world. Like, this is crazy. So, but she's making bank, like she's making some serious change. So, hey, all power to these people. But I'm just like, yo, there's some real suckers who are falling for that shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but with that, is there anything else you guys want to ask? Or
I have one more. I think this would be a quick one. So, Summer, I know we usually have, I'll say, a large percent of guys that listen to our podcast. What is one thing you want to tell guys? I know you're with someone now, but you want to tell guys to stop doing?
That's a good question.
Yeah, one thing.
That's a great question.
I know there's so many, but just choose one, Summer.
Just off the top of your head. Off the top of your head.
Or do your top 5, like.
Actually, yeah.
That could be his own episode right there. Top 5 things I don't want guys to do anymore.
Yeah. One thing I guess that just comes to my head is interrupting. Just let her speak. If she's talking, like just give her some time, like let her finish her words and then say your opinion. I don't want to say that we're right the majority of the time, but we are. So just let her say it and then go ahead and reply. I don't know. That's just what the first
on that topic, just for that one though, like how much of it do you think is like the anticipation of like wanting to respond versus actually being a douche and like just cutting you off?
I think it's both. I think it's both. I've seen. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get excited to reply, but just wait. I mean, I don't understand. You don't do that with your friends. I don't know. I'd say that's the biggest thing. Just give us time to talk. That's it.
Any other pet peeves?
We should save this for another episode, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think we should have like a part 2 to this. But Summer, if you have something off the top of your head, like if you really just thought of it, be like,
like if you're
fuck, man,
dying.
why is this guy doing this?
I'll save them. I think that one's the first one, and I'll just keep it at that. But I will save my rest.
Leave the people always wanting more, Summer. You'll learn that quick in this profession.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah,
she's not opening up she's not opening up an OnlyFans. What the fuck?
For the topic,
I'm
talking about the topic about the 5 things about what guys do that she just hates. That can be its own little topic, man. I'm trying to get attention time.
I just baited you into it and you just fell into that trap, dude.
Hey, Mo, man, this just is kind of tasting lovely right now. You know that?
Okay,
Damn.
fuck off.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
See, but I'm still laughing. But did you add enough ice and lemon? Because I will seriously disown you if you did not do that.
Next topic.
Wait, what'd you make, Brad?
A gin and tonic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a hard drink to make.
You say that, but I made it.
So now I guess we're in the next topic. So Summer's gonna fire back at us with some questions.
Yes.
Ask us your burning questions, Summer.
I have 5. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. 5. The first
5
one.
problems, 1 solution.
Oh, okay. So the first one is, what is your favorite quality in a woman? This is for all of you guys.
I mean, does personality count as a quality? Because I mean, like for me, like no, because I mean, like if you have like a shitty personality, like I'm just gonna walk away. Like I'm like, if like you're as interesting as like the paint drying on the wall, like goodbye. Like like it's just like what I mean. Like it's like you gotta have somebody you vibe with. Like I mean, it's not necessarily personality, but it's like like it just kind of if you're like not exciting at all, like like it's just not gonna do it for me, and I'm just gonna walk off.
So, if there's an extremely attractive woman who likes you, are you just gonna say bye and he has a bad personality? Or
No.
And
I mean, that was counteractive. But I mean, like, the thing is, like, sure, I mean, like, everybody I think has that person. If like they're very like attractive, they're gonna be like, I'm willing to deal with this. But I'm saying, like, if you're dealing with like normal to average people, like, you know, like in like, you know, like in that kind of setting, like for me, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk off. Like, you know, like.
all right. What about you guys?
I
There's
guess.
an Indian school. Yeah, go on, Brad. Go on.
Oh, I guess for me, it's two things really.
Yeah.
Humor and being outgoing. You know, I guess those two things have to vibe with me because I'm very humorous and outgoing.
Yeah.
And I like, and you know, it's okay. Like, you know, what I find very attractive is if a pretty girl likes making fun of her own self. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if she's not afraid to laugh and to have a good time, if she's not worried about looking her best
Right.
everywhere she goes. And I really like that, you know. I don't. I mean, hey, if you look great, that's fine. But it's okay to poke fun at your imperfections. It's okay to like laugh and mess around and being outgoing. You know. I mean, I don't mind shy people, but I like somebody who's kind of confident and who's not afraid to be look like made a fool of themselves. You know.
Yeah.
That to me really what I get around. Like if I can see that you're a confident person and you love, like, because I guess that goes into confidence. I guess it's confidence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what I like in a woman. Is just somebody who's humorous and outgoing.
Good answer.
Ivy, you want to take this?
Yeah. I definitely agree with Brad. Just someone who's not. I feel everyone's different though, but not someone who's, I would say, like a homebody. Someone who's willing to like get out of the house every now and then. Like you do have, especially at UF, you have like a good amount of girls who are very focused on school. And I mean, we all are. I feel like, and like sometimes you just gotta like enjoy the moment and just just get out the house, like for whether it's for like 30 minutes for an hour, like take a run outside or like even go to the grocery store. Like you shouldn't always want to be inside. So yeah, someone that's like willing just to get out the house and not stay in all the time, because that could get pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I like that. Adventure.
Yeah. So, can it be like multiple? Because that's literally what the way the boys have pretty much explained it. That's kind of my ideal woman. Humorous, but the humor has to be like, it has to be like, it has to be cutthroat. It has to be like rapier wit. Like it has to be like, just like going for me. Like I like the women who like come for my existence, because then I'm like, okay, hey, so now it's like I have like an opportunity to push back, because that's kind of my humor. I pretty much go for, like, I try to push buttons and see how people function, what makes them tick. That's kind of the way I am. It's kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. So it's like I like it when people like they come for me. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna fuck shit up now. Let's see what happens. So somebody who can keep me on my toes. Also someone who's like, another thing which is like it's like a must for me is like somebody who's ambitious, like focused about her career. She wants to, like, the situation she's in, she doesn't want to be in it anymore. She wants to grow. She wants to build an empire, and build something on a great work ethic, something like that, something of that sort. And yeah, also confidence. Like it's because I'm like I would like to say that I am confident, and and I like to like talk to people, get to know more people, like very extroverted. So somebody who's of that sort. Not that I'm like, if somebody turns out to be introverted, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, fuck off. But like I've had my experiences dealing with extroverted, like passive aggressive people, and that's something which I don't really gel with. So that's pretty much something which I think I go for. Like pretty much a summation of what the boys have said is something which I go for. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I like that. Another good answer. Question 2.
Dose.
Yep. Okay, this is funny. What is your best pickup line?
Ooh.
Brad,
It
go first.
depends on the context. Right?
Yeah,
like,
actually, yeah.
So
I mean, the one I always used on Tinder was like, "Hey, remember me?" And like normally it'd be like, "What?" I'm like, "It's the man from your dreams." You know, 'cause like that's just my kind of joke. You know, like.
Funny.
But I mean, like everything else, I feel like is super situational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was replying to you like, "Hey, remember me?" No. Like, are they replying to you, or are you saying
Oh
that?
no! Normally they reply to me like, "No, like sorry," and like it's okay, and then like they'll laugh at the next part. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Um, yeah, I would say I would agree with Ben. It's like it's really situational.
yeah.
Like sometimes, I just remember it's this last summer. I was like in the internship, and there was like a girl that worked with me. I didn't have like a pickup line, but I just went up and just said, "Oh, hey, you work in the pharmacy or something like that," or like if they're wearing a shirt like a Miami Heat shirt, say, "Oh, do you like the Miami Heat?" You know, I'm more situational. I won't be like, "Oh, hey, like, oh, does your face hurt because like you fell from the sky or from the heavens?" Like I won't be like,
I hear that one.
Ugh.
I like
Ugh.
I like it being situational. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
So cringe, man.
I guess I have to agree. I mean, everybody else. I try to throw a little humor into it a little bit. Just try to make a little passing joke, and then bounce off of that into just talking to them, getting to know them. Whether that's me in class or whatever the case may be. I'm not really much of a pickup line type guy, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm not that creative, unfortunately.
Okay, gotcha.
Mine's more on the lines of like the boy said, situation. But I like to play with their names. Like if I can make a pun out of their name, kind of also like I think this is something which Benny also does quite often. He like mentioned it to me, and Benny just left. Uh, that's
Oh,
unfortunate.
really bad.
Yeah, he'll be back soon.
okay.
So yes. So one thing of like I was talking to this girl on Tinder and her name was Trina. So I was like, so I'm trying to get to know you, and like she laughed, and then we started talking, and then like we just kind of gelled even more. So and you're back. Welcome back.
How you doing, man?
Welcome back, fam.
Sorry about that.
Go on.
So yeah, so
Trina.
Trina, yeah. So what I said, so there was this girl I matched with on Tinder. Her name is Trina. So I'm like, hey, so I'm trying to get to know you, but like I spelled it Trina. So and she laughed and she's like, ha ha ha, and then like we just started talking, and then like it just like the conversation flowed from there. Also like another like, so yeah, I don't really use pickup lines per se because I just feel that it's like, if you're not that creative, and if you're not in the flow, and then like if you're not around with people who are just going to like, if you're going to make a fool of yourself, then you might as well not do it and just introduce yourself normally, or like slowly slide into a conversation and then like build a rapport over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my vibe. I don't know how other people do it. Like people that I've heard some really cringe lines like, is that a phone in your back pocket because that ass is calling me? I heard that one and I was like, yo, you need to pack up and go home. Like that's just
See,
that's
those
just so
I'm not
cringe.
a fan. But if it's cheesy, corny, or punny, like I feel like those usually
Well,
work better.
Well, see, like for example, like if I were to match with you, Summer, like I'd totally be like, "Oh, it feels like summer in here," or something like that, like right, like that kind of stuff. Like it's like so
Yeah.
like dependent. So I'm like, like it really is on the situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, like if a girl's name is May, I'd be like, yeah, it's really May because it's kind of getting hot in here. I don't know, like just play around with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not sure if I told you this one, but I had a friend named Monica, and she was on Tinder.
ooh,
And a guy had asked her, "Hey, Monica, if we meet tonight, will you give me a Monica Lewinsky?"
what the
Oh,
fuck?
no.
What the
But the
fuck?
thing is, though, she didn't know who Monica Lewinsky was, so
Seriously?
it went over her head. But yeah,
If your
Wow.
name is Monica, you would think you'd know. But
yes.
that's bad. That one's
Either
bad.
that,
Not a fan.
either that, or hey, can you come over and clean my room? Because Monica from Friends.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like friends, but no, maybe not the cleaning room part. Maybe something else.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and because asking a woman to make a sandwich will definitely help you.
Of course, man. Of course.
It's
Well,
2020,
you
Brad.
gotta
Come on.
play your card for it to see if they're the hyper feminist or not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Just mess with them.
Yeah. Gotcha. So situational, and I also really liked the punny one. Do you know me, or do you remember me? What was it again?
yeah, do you remember me?
Remember me. That one. I'm a fan of that one. That one's funny. Okay. Question 3.
You're welcome, boys.
Race.
Favorite celebrity crush and why?
Oof.
Ooh, can I take this one? Can I take this one? Can I take
Yeah,
this
go.
one? Can I
You're
take
gonna
this
steal
one?
it from me, but go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So it's a tie. It's a tie. It's
I know that.
there are like three. There are like three which have been tied in this current position. So there's one is Gal Gadot from Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Dude, come on.
Yeah.
Fair, like,
That's a good.
I mean, come on, guys. Like, she's absolutely gorgeous. She was a part of IDF, Israeli Defense Force. Like, she knows like martial arts and stuff. I'm like, she knows how to handle a gun, and she knows how to protect herself. She's a very strong woman. She's just amazing. Like, I've seen her interviews, and I'm just like, yo, how is this woman like so perfect? She's amazing.
Did you see
So
the movie? I forgot the name of it, but it was with John Hamm, and they're like a couple.
Oh, the spies.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
it's like it's so good. And she starts seducing Isla Fisher, and I'm like, yo, like this seems a little too good for my taste.
Something. That's so funny. I love
Yeah.
it.
So Gal Gadot is like number one, and then number two is um God, 1 second. The female from Wolf of Wall Street.
Margot
Oh,
Robbie.
Margot
Margot
Robbie.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie.
Love
Just
Margot.
I mean she's such a bubbly personality, and like she's so exuberant, and she's just like this always on and like happy chirpy personality, and like I loved her in as Shannon Tate in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Me too.
She was fabulous.
She
She
was.
was like absolutely fabulous. So that's that. And the third one,
I love movies. So you see her in Bombshell. She was really good in that one.
I think I saw her in I, Tonya, and
Yeah.
like I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Like how are people not like floored by this? Like
No.
Sebastian Stan as her abusive husband, and like this one is like Tonya Harding. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like wow.
I feel like the craziest thing about Margot Robbie is like you would think she's like in her 30s, but she's actually like 25 or like 24, and that's like whoa,
Late
like
20s, yeah.
yeah,
Like she's like she's like older for her, like she's mature for her age. So it's like
Yeah.
that entire vibe is over there. And last but not the least, it's this don't hate on me, but there's this porn star called Jessa Rhodes. And why see this is the fucking reason why I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it nonetheless.
Celebrity.
She's like
Are
she
they?
is a celebrity, dude. Like people like fucking
Okay.
yeah, she's
at
you
least you
can't
have
shame me.
material to work with.
Sorry.
At least you have
Sorry?
material to work with.
I'm gonna look it up. What's her name?
Yeah, Jessa Rhodes.
Make sure private
Jessa.
search on right now. Incognito on.
Jessa Rhodes.
Too late.
She's absolutely she's really pretty, and she's like very spiritual from like whatever, like she's been through some real shits, like she's been through a real shit storm, and like she's like it hasn't managed to break her, and like she's our age, and like she's absolutely gorgeous. Like she's so fit. I'm like, yo, this chick is fit. And like
I'm not a fan of the lip fillers. What do you guys
yeah,
think?
I think
Like bigger lips, like injections?
No, that's just weird. to me. But that's like
No.
yeah.
Not a fan.
look, I don't know whether she's had some work done. If she may, it's all on her. It's like literally I'm no one to judge what beauty standards are, because I'm not perfect either. But
whenever I see lip fillers, I think like it's just plastic surgery gone wrong. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She look great without it. But yeah, she's beautiful. From the
she's beautiful, exactly. And yeah, and she's really mature. Like she was talking about like through her like I've seen some of her interviews and her like podcasts and stuff, and like she really has a lot for us. You know, like some people will be like, oh, she's a sex worker, she has no clue about life and stuff, and I'm like, and when I was listening to it, I was like, yo, she's got a lot of depth into what she's like saying, and she's talking about like her certain negative experiences in life and like how people have taken advantage of her and how she's like been abused, like how she was part of like a cult, and like it was like yeah, when you listen to some of the stuff, it like literally I was like, whoa, that's fucking crazy, like. But you know, like that also like kind of made me want to know this woman more. Like I'm just like kind of interested in like I'm not that sort of a person who would like want like like how some people will like, oh, I just want to nail this chick. I'm more on the lines of, yo, I want to get to know this woman, like what's up, man, what's like what makes her tick. So that's kind of my vibe. But yeah, I'm gonna pass the baton on to someone else now, guys.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. My number one would probably be Amelia Clark. She's just Faye, like I don't know, she just has like a nice bubbly personality, and typically like that's kind of like the girls that I go for anyways. It's just like nice, bubbly, like sweet, like that kind of thing. And then similar to like my second choice would be Alison Brie.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew
I
it.
absolutely loved her when I first saw her in Mad Men.
Yeah.
As Trudy, because I was like, oh wow, she's so sweet. And then like recently, I've been watching Community. Right in that too. That's like both of those two are just my favorite for that reason. It's just kind of like I don't know. I just feel like they bring their energy on stage, and like from like on stage, off stage, I feel like their personalities, while not the same, like you can tell like they live in their roles as they are, and I think that's pretty cool for them being authentic.
Love it.
Yeah. Alison Brie is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not really big into the celebrity crush game. But somebody I think off the top of my head, and you guys are probably gonna hate on me about it. I really like Kendall Jenner. I think she seems like the most sane out of all of them.
Amor, you can't say anything right now. Be quiet.
The most sane. They're all crazy, but she seems the most.
Listen,
I agree.
1 second. Kendall Jenner, like of all the people of all that godforsaken extended family, really, like I love you, Ivy, but like really,
She's also like the top
I think,
paid model in the world, so she must be really good looking. And
yeah.
he's right. She's normal. I mean, I'm
I
not
think
saying
she's
the others
the most-
are crazy, but I mean,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
see the fight between Kim and Courtney, like the physical fight? Did you see that?
I think I did.
That
I
was
think I did. I saw a clip.
the latest episode. They got into an actual fist fight.
Really?
Yeah, like punches were going down, and Kendall was just sitting there minding her business. She didn't even be a part of it. She was just sitting there.
She's probably be like she's probably like, yeah, okay, another day in the Kardashian household.
Right. Yeah. So I like that answer.
Yeah, I think she's the most like naturally pretty one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if she were not to put on any makeup or have any implants, or I mean, I don't think she does, but she's like definitely the best looking one out of all of them, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. She has no work done like the others. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And
Right?
Brad?
Okay, fair enough.
Same thing with Iverson. I don't really know a lot of I like celebrities. I'm not really like a celebrity guy who goes and looks in the culture too much. But if I had to pick one, I'll say Aubrey Plaza. I loved her in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I loved her in that. And I've seen some of her other movies in Parks and Rec. Yeah, she just has these eyes. I just look crazy. Like she was in one movie where she plays like this crazy person that stalks like an Instagram star or something. Like,
Ingrid Goes West. Ingrid Goes West.
Yeah. And I really liked her in that. Like she looks like a fun person to hang out with and just drink a beer with. Really.
Yeah.
And I think the last person. Yeah, I think the last person. Yeah, last person I'll choose is Betty Gilpin. I loved her in The Hunt. Yeah, she seems like a very fun lady to drink a beer with.
The blonde lady?
Yeah, from The Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems like she can take a punch, and I like that.
Cool. Those are good ones too.
Yeah.
Brad likes.
For Aubrey
Case in
Plaza,
point, guys. Brad likes martial artists. Brad likes martial artists.
Yeah.
For Aubrey, watch her interview. Have you seen Hot Ones? That YouTube.
I have seen Hot Ones. I haven't seen Aubrey Plaza's versions yet.
Watch her interview. It's so funny. It's
Oh, I
great.
bet.
Yeah, when you have the chance.
After this, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. What is one thing that you think women don't understand about men?
That's a good.
Oh, I got this one. You want to go first? You go.
I think Brad was first of the. He's out of
Actually, Brad, you know what?
Yeah,
It's
Brad,
like we tied with this, so Brad, you go take it away.
So one thing that women don't understand about men.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'd love to know.
this is a meme. I know
Brad.
it's a meme. This is a meme, and everybody, please. It's all jokes here. I'm not being serious at all. This is just a joke I've seen a lot on the games. A guy
He's
you
being
follow.
serious, guys. He's being serious, guys. He's lying. He's being serious.
But like there's jokes that go both ways. I will say this. Like, does women really know how to touch a man to make him arouse? Is my question. I think it goes both ways because I've had a girlfriend before, and again I don't know. It just seems like with women that like their immediate reaction is to go in there and start grabbing things, and not really wanting to like you know.
Are you saying you can do it right? Are you saying we need to research more?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. Like you don't have to get in there and get into the iron grip, you know.
Gotcha.
Honestly, I'm not sure about you guys. If you guys ever experienced this.
No, I agree with you.
Okay,
No.
I'm not crazy. I'm glad.
No, you're not. I completely agree with this because so now that you mention it, Brad, I remember I was with this girl and she went down on me and she's like, "Yo, I'm gonna hit you with the food processor." I'm like, "What?"
No.
Wait. Here, this story gets really wild. So I'm like, "You're gonna do what?" I'm like, "Listen, I want like kids in the future, so I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do. Like, I don't know what the food processor is." She's like, "No, trust me, you're gonna go crazy." I'm like, "Okay, fine, do your thing."
Cheese grater.
It's no, I was literally worried. Like, I was like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's see, because I'm just like, okay, let's do it. It's with the flow, whatever. Fuck it. I cannot make this up. She literally puts her throat to my testicles. She goes,
What?
I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, yo, okay.
Where did
I'm
you
not
find this girl?
Tinder, unfortunately.
That was definitely.
And she's like, and she's like, and I'm like, yo, are you trying to?
Not just choking? Like
No, like that's the thing. Like okay, so before that I'd seen her deep throat, so I was like, okay, I know what her deep throat looks like and what it sounds like, but this was like some different. Like, I thought she was on something. Like, I was like, yo, you good? Like are you having a fit or something? She's like, no, that's the food processor. I'm like, whatever that is not a food processor. That sounds like you're having an epileptic fit. Like, are you good? Like, did you have a seizure or something? She's like, no, this is like my food processor. I'm like, okay, listen, honey, I'm gonna teach you a couple of things about my body, which I absolutely like are like golden rules. Never do that again. Like, ever. Never again. Like, I don't want to. I don't want you turning into the motherfucking Hulk. I don't want you turning into He-Man, and I'm not Skeletor at this point, so I don't want that shit. None of that shit. None of that He-Man and the Skeletor. You're not fucking Cobra. I'm no G.I. Joe. Stop that shit. Like, we're not turning, like, it's not a toy. It's not a joystick.
Yeah.
It's an organ. It needs
The grapefruit technique. That video is an instant classic.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
like, it's a beautiful video. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, the sounds remind me of that, bro. Like,
Didn't someone we know get the grapefruit on them?
oh wait, was that
Yeah, it was. Let's avoid this topic because it doesn't involve us.
That sounds.
It doesn't
really-
involve us. It doesn't involve us.
But which one? Like the one with the straight hair or the one with? Oh, I can't go into detail.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
Oh
People-
yeah.
This is more like
I
an
don't know,
after
like-
show.
Wait,
from,
Leon,
from
count
what I
this or-
remember.
Okay.
Oh, good. So
Anyway.
it's,
That's for the future. But going back to the previous topic, when we say faster, that does not mean grab the shit out of it and just like continue where you're at. Like that's not what we mean at all. You know, like
Yes.
I'm just gonna go there. But Brad, I think you're right. This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed.
Okay, I'm glad because I feel like I understand for girls, is that one place that guys have to hit and they know that they have to hit it. But for a girl, they just see that and the thing is like a jungle gym. They just want to like grab on it and just hang on and just twist it and everything. I'm just like, yo,
it
honey,
turns into
calm
fucking.
down.
It turns into like old school Nintendo joysticks. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing? It's not a joystick. Like it's like, and it's neat. Nor is it like the Tower of Babel that you it's like you can't understand what's going on. It's you just have to like take your time with it, and like I'm sure you'll see results. Trust me.
Yes. Like you don't need like pounce on that like a tiger pounce on a gazelle. You just need to walk up to it, talk to it a little bit, and he'll talk to you back. Only thing I gotta say about that.
Gotcha.
I think another thing too. I feel like girls don't realize that the average guy, like average, I guess in this case, like college student, they don't really get with a lot of girls. I feel like a lot of girls think like, oh, that guy, he must get with girl every weekend, every like weekday, whatever. But I feel like the average guy doesn't like have like a girl they can call up and say, hey, do you want to come over, or hey, let's like go on a date or something. So I feel like a lot of girls have to realize that like I don't know, a lot of guys don't have like a
We don't get around.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys, as you know, are unfortunately geeks and losers. But hey,
Yeah,
what you gonna do about it?
That's
A geek is not unfortunate. At
Yeah,
least that's what I think.
It's not I agree with someone. It's not unfortunate that I mean I pride myself in being a nerd because if being a nerd means that I have I have an excellent command over whatever I enjoy doing and that's my profession, then if I'm 100% focused on chasing that paper instead of chasing one woman who's not going to give me the time of day,
Yeah.
then I'm sorry, I'd much rather focus on my work ethic and my professionalism than to focus on some woman who's who's probably just gonna just
Waste your
not
time.
give me time of day. Yeah, just waste my time. So honestly, and I'd much rather wait for the right woman than to like go chase like these women who have, for one, like I'm not saying that this is the majority of the case, but have zero maturity and her only associate like attractiveness with like money or like good looks or like roided up arms. Like if that's what you're going for, then hey, that's great for you. But
I think it's better to define a geek because it's like we could give Brad's roommate as an example. Like if like you never shower and your whole point in life is to play video games, like I'm sorry, you're not unfortunate. There's just something wrong, But like, it's just like like I'm saying, like I don't think anybody's gonna fault you for focusing on the grind. You know what I mean? Like all this.
Yeah, like there is like a clear difference. Like, listen, if you're grinding, you're not a geek. You're just a guy who's on his grind, getting his things done. But if you're a dude that you prioritize, let's say, having fun, and that could be with gaming, going out, over than grinding, then yeah, like you're doing life wrong in a way. I understand, hey, it's your life. You can do it whatever the heck you want to do with your life. But you need to prioritize getting yourself right and improving every day instead of, hey, how can I have as much fun? How can I drink as much? How can I play as much video games? How can I have how can I have as much sex with as many girls as I possibly can? Then you're doing things wrong at that point. You're doing it wrong.
I have a quick interjection, a question I want to ask you. What do you think about anime body pillows?
Anime body pillows?
Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to say who has one, but based on our
Benny.
conversation, you can get where it's going. But
Benny.
basically, like, imagine a dude with a pillow shaped like his favorite anime character,
Like
and
a
they sleep.
llama?
Yeah, and they sleep with it.
Problem there.
I think it's time
Benny-
for question 5 sometimes.
No. We're not done
We have
yet.
to have this answer.
No.
If
We're not done yet.
If it's small, like that's fine.
Anime
But when
body
it's-
Okay, but what would your reaction be like if you were like single and you walk into some guy's room and you see that shit? Like, what would you do?
that's a red
Walk
flag.
out.
Yeah, like
I'm
Walk out.
sorry, but
Listen. Benny, we know plenty of YouTubers who have anime body pillows who do that stuff. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's your money. You can spend however the heck you want to spend it. But there is a difference between that being the only contact of a female person you have versus meeting somebody out in the real
Real
world.
human con. Sama, I have a question for you. So this is more on the lines of like dating. So if you know you go out on a date with this guy, you're single, you go out on a date with this guy, and then he invites you over back to his place, and you know you're having a great time, and then like he suddenly brings out his Lego set, and he's like, "Yo, let's build the Millennium Falcon, or you know like let's build the Death Star or whatever, or then like whatever. It's just like a building or whatever the fuck it is.
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like, is it a red flag?
right?
Or are you gonna you're gonna join in, or you're gonna be like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is not the kind of like fun I was going for. But would you go in for it, or would you just be like, okay, toodles?
Honestly, that sounds great. I would play Legos. Make it into a drinking game.
It depends on the girl.
Okay.
It depends on the girl. Because most girls will say, look at you, Moog, and say, I'm getting the fuck out of there as soon as I can.
I never said I want to play with Legos.
I
Dude,
like
I never said I
Legos.
want to play with Legos.
No,
but
I like
I'm
Legos.
just saying that. I'm just saying most girls who you would talk to, if they're given that option, they would say, peace.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think you're trying to defend your pillow.
It's like those games. Like I've
Time's
seen
going
those.
a bit longer than usual. I think we should go to question 5.
No, wait.
Question
We
five.
haven't. I haven't. I haven't answered this thing about what I think about women. Like, it's just jumping off of what you guys said. There is one thing which I need to like, which I feel like this shouldn't really be explained, but it should also. A lot of guys don't read between the lines. There's no such thing as reading between the lines with guys. We're very direct. We want, like, if you expect us to be a certain way, not everybody comes with a handbook manual saying that, okay, you know, how to understand women. A lot of guys don't understand women and don't understand what they want. So you have to be a little more direct with us, be a little more direct in your instructions that, okay, I'm not fine. No, don't be like, oh, are you okay? And you be like, fine. Homeboy's just going to be like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't know what the deal is. So if you're not fine, say you're not fine. If you're unhappy with us for something, tell us that you're unhappy about these, like list out the specific things, because homeboy is not going to understand it unless you tell him directly that, okay, these are the problems. So I guess communication and being a little more direct about things is something which women don't, because I understand that women are intuitive and they expect the guy to be as intuitive as them, which in most cases is not going to be the case. Like, you're going to be on then different pages, and then that's going to eventually lead to like a breakdown of the relationship. So that's something
You bring up a really good point.
Which I think is something like I've been like you know, been doing a lot of introspection a lot lately, and like it's like certain things like which I think really need to be addressed. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like being direct and a little more honest. I mean, hey, if the dude's blunt, be blunt with him. Like, just tell him, yeah, I don't like your fucking attitude. Shut the fuck up. Tell him that.
I mean, and I think another thing would be like being respectful of people's hobbies. It doesn't matter like what it is, but like, you know, you can't just be like, hey, like, I don't want you doing, say, music or something like that instance because you're not spending time with me. Like, one that me and my best friend get into all the time is like, she thinks playing video games is childish, you know? And I'm like, it's like, how different is it from watching a movie? Has always been my response, you know? It's like, it's
Or
one
reality.
thing, it's like, you know, it's like one thing if it's like that dominates all your life, like we were saying earlier, like if that's literally all you do, I could definitely see you classifying it as being childish, you know? I mean, like if it's just like you do it an hour here or there, but then like you're busy normally with everything else, like what difference does it really make? And I think that's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, I think being like just respectful of hobbies in general, or like asking them or gaining interest is better than just being like, hey, you need to stop this.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
brought
like
up some really good points, and something that I had to learn too. Like, Amog, I would say like, I'm fine, like it's whatever, it's fine, all the time, and 100% better when you like actually communicate your feelings. And there's no time to just be like, I'm fine, and then put it under the rug because you're gonna blow up, and then it's gonna ruin the relation.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
definitely.
with video games, with Robert, like he loves video games, so was not a fan in the beginning because he would spend hours and hours. And I'd say, like, what if you spent your hour instead of video games on something more productive that will help you 5 years in the future? And I would always tell him that. And then I started playing the game, and I'm like, I understand where you're coming from.
Mhm.
This is fun.
Mhm. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
listen, if Robert is playing Wolfenstein and if you're getting to gun down Nazis and you're doing it like with stealth, or like suddenly at this point you're just going with 2 shotguns and killing a bunch of Nazis, hey, I'm all for that, because what's great, what's better than a live Nazi? A dead one. Just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky I have a girlfriend who the fact that she realizes like that's just my entertainment outlet. But at the same time, it's like, like for some people it's watching movies all day, and that's more the normal thing. But other people is just doing that, and that's fine too. Like, like does it make it more childish than the other? Like it depends on whether it consumes your priorities or not. And I think that's kind of the distinction.
Some
Absolutely.
people is going
True.
shopping. It depends. People like going to Disney World, or whatever the case, whatever amusement park is near you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
True.
right.
All right.
So Cinco.
Last question kind of goes back to a question you told me in the past earlier. What is your biggest turnoff in regards to women?
Ooh.
My biggest turn.
And you have to say one.
Oh, like that happened to me. Talk to a girl.
It could be that happened to you or in general, whatever.
Well, I think it goes well because like everybody saw my reaction when this happened, and it's a good story we've never told on the show. Like I think I hate people who, and this is just people in general, but for some reason it happens a lot more with women in my particular thing. Is like they think they're like the hottest shit out there. Like I don't know why, but that just really bothers me. Like it's like, and it's like if you were a 10 out of 10, I'd be like, okay, maybe warranted. But if you're just like normal, like I'm just kind of like, where are you coming off from that? Like, there's a story where me and the boys, we all went out to the club. We were at JJ's or whatever. And one of our friends, like, he's just standing there because it's really tight because it's a busy night that day. And all of a sudden, this girl comes by him and, like, basically jabs him in the stomach to get through the line. And then, like, our friend noticeably, like, kind of looks at her like, what the fuck? And then like the thing, and then she's like, and she doesn't say anything, but then she's like, oh my god, I hate it when guys just like stare at me like when I'm in the club when I'm just trying to pass through. And so like I shout out, well, you're not that pretty anyways. And then like like I thought she didn't hear me, but I guess they were doing like the bitch run, like the reconnaissance mission. Like they circle back, and then like the same girl who I called not pretty was like, "Excuse me, did you call my friend not pretty?" And then I was like, and then she's like, "Never again, honey." And I was like, "No, I called you not pretty." And then like she got so angry she left the club. But like that's kind of my thing. Like I think the biggest turn off for me is like when you think you're hot shit and you're not. And like it's just like but your whole like aspect is like being like, "Oh, I can do this because I look this way." Like I don't know, like I think that's just my turn off, but
Mhm.
Arrogance is my.
yeah.
Suffice,
I agree.
suffice to say, Benny put somebody on suicide watch that night. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'll
So
say
yeah,
that's what happened
To
to
be
me.
fair, I was pretty gone at that point. Whenever it's like a Jack
rum and
and
coke.
Coke. Yeah, no, whenever it's Jack and Coke, like
Jack and
I'm
crack,
gonna be
baby.
fucked with, just like
Gotcha. So arrogance.
yeah.
I think another one is it's like I think it kind of borders on like narcissism. arrogance and narcissism. It's like a weird combination because they always go hand in hand. Like I was talking to this girl recently, and she literally goes, "Yeah, like I like it when guys chase me," and I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." She's like, "Yeah, but I also like it when guys beg." I'm like, you're in. I was shocked. I'm like, beg in what sense? Because like,
Yeah, because
I'm
that
like,
could be
beg what?
anything. Yeah.
Like beg for
That could
sex?
literally mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I'm coming to that. So she's like, yeah, I like it when guys beg me for like a date or like sex.
Oh, beg. I thought you said bake, and I was like, wait, what?
Beg.
Yeah.
So so I was like, I'm like, I'm not gonna beg. She's like, no, but I like it. I said, yeah, that's if you like beta males. I'm an alpha. I don't beg. And she couldn't take it. Like she just like it's like her entire brain just like shut down, and she's like, no, but like I like it. I'm like, yeah, that's good for you, but it's not every guy is gonna come chasing after you. I said, I'm like, I mean, yeah, sure, I'll give you the requisite attention, but it's a two-way street. It has to go both ways. It's like if I'm going to give you X amount of attention, you have to give me the same back. I mean, if you're, of course, again, this all borders on if you're interested, if you're kind of into each other and all that, and you feel like mutual attraction and all that stuff. It's a give and take. You can't just be like, oh, I'm hot shit, and you have to like chase after me. Like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. So I just mentioned it to her. I said, yeah, I don't beg, and I never will. I said I've bent over backwards too many times for a woman, and I've turned into a simp more than once in the past.
So
But I think we've like at one point I think most of us have been or were simps, and now we're not. And we've learned from our mistakes, and we don't want to repeat that. And that's exactly what I told her. Suffice to say, she unmatched, but hey, that's a bullet dodge, man. So yeah, I think that's something which is like, I'm just like, yeah, honey, you're just not that pretty.
Yeah. I guess I'll tell you a story about what happened to me that was a very huge turnoff for me. So I was back when I think my sophomore year, and I was at a frat party, and I was talking to this girl, and things were going well. We were dancing together, and she says, "Hey, yo, go get me a drink." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." So I go back, get her a drink. It's free. It's not like I'm paying money for it.
Okay.
And I come back with my drink and her drink in her hand, and I see him making out some random dude. I was like, "Oh well, I'm good." I pulled the smoothest U-turn. So, but no, on something that's real though, I have seen people and some girls who are like this, who are like, yeah, I like it when kind of your same position, Remote. I like it when guys do kind of like gay things, like it's a turn on for her seeing two guys like make out in front of her, and I'm just like, honey, I don't think that's I mean, how would you feel if I said it's a turn on for me to see two girls make out in front of me? Like
Yeah.
I understand that. Hey, I guess you feel comfortable enough around me to say that, but that shouldn't be like you go ahead. Like you should get turned on by somebody because of the personality. I understand, of course, looks do play a role in it, but it should be because of who they are, not for what they're doing to get you off.
True.
Yeah, I would say, like, so kind of thinking about it, and kind of like, so what we're going back in the beginning, like we were talking about, like, personality as, like, guys prefer girls with good personality. But in reality, we mostly care about looks. I mean, I'm just being real. Like,
Yeah.
it's like 90% looks. Even if it's a girl that we don't, it's like, oh man, I can't stand her. But if she's pretty enough, you'll be like, oh, I can deal with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
But
Gotcha.
I would kind of say it's mostly situational. I can't think of anything that like I could pinpoint and say, oh, that automatically turns me off. Because I remember actually one instance I happened to go on a date with a girl last semester. And honestly, the date went well. I mean, it went pretty good. But at the end of the date, I was like, I don't want to hang out with this girl anymore. It was like very weird. Like it was just like I've never felt that way before after a date. But I'm like, you know what? Like I don't feel like I was like really invested in this. I just felt like in the moment I was just like, hey, this girl seemed interesting. Let me give it a shot. I'm free that night. But then I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, maybe girls think the same way. they're like, oh, let me give this guy a shot. And at the end of the day, they're just like, I don't, I'm like, he's a great guy. It was a great date, but I'd rather deal with another challenge. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of in a situation where I feel like I get turned on in that sense.
All right.
Yeah, another turn off is and this is, I think it's weird. I mean, this is a turn off for me personally. I don't know how many guys feel it, but if you're gonna talk about like feminism or get political or like talk about like social issues, do your homework.
Mhm.
If this is something, again, it's I like to read. I like to read up on like current affairs and stuff. So this is something like, if somebody doesn't know, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little more crude in the way I say this. If you're going to talk out of your ass without like thinking what you're going to say, without thinking about what you're going to say, and like you're going to say it in the least articulate style, then yeah, you're going to get called out on it. Because I don't claim to be an expert, but if I have read up on this, and if what you're saying doesn't make any sense remotely, and then you just start to popping off, and then like you get offended when somebody is like, I disagree with what you're saying because here are the facts, and when you list out facts to them, they get really pissed off. Like, that's a really major turn off. Because if you're going to get political, and then like somebody's like, you're not always going to have somebody who's going to share your opinions. Like, if you're a liberal and somebody is a moderate, they're not going to agree with everything you say. Yeah. Because they're like, no, there may be a different approach to this, and maybe that different approach is something that could be more feasible. I'm not saying it's right, but you're not always going to be on the same page with certain things, but that doesn't mean that you have to get offended or you have to get angry. So losing your temper over these little things, I guess, is a major turn off. Like, it becomes a red flag for me, because I'm like, if you're going to lose your temper over like a little thing, what's it going to be when if it's a serious issue and you just like fucking lose your shit? And I'm just going to be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So yeah, those are like two things for me which are like major turn-offs. Like, either do your homework and like just get your shit together.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with all of them. Those are some good ones. And those are all my questions.
You're most welcome.
All right. Well, it looks like we have went above and beyond what our usual time is, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
But hey,
90 minutes, 96 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. So
you guys
please,
had some great answers, by the way. I'm just gonna let you know that you guys had great responses, and I loved hearing from you all.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure to have you on, man. I mean,
yes,
I think we've been thinking about this for the longest time, and thank you for coming on. Like, literally, it's just like it's such a great thing, and I think this is like the first of many that we're gonna have you on.
Absolutely.
And
come on again. Thank you for having me.
And yeah, this is I think this is going to be so good. Like, I think this is going to be like our most successful episode now.
Yes.
So like, thank you. And like, I think you've done majority of the heavy lifting. We were just there for the ride, I guess. So
it was great.
So it's
great.
Yeah.
So basically you're Ant-Man in Endgame. You're pretty much Ant-Man in Endgame.
Yeah, and at this point now, people won't think we're sexist. You know what I mean? Just
I don't know. They could think she's just accurately paid. Honestly, like her real name really isn't Summer. It's something like Catherine.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Katie.
Her real name's
Katie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna be like, I was like, Summer. You believe that they hired? It's probably some dude in a mask. For all we know.
That's funny.
It's a very convincing face mask. Like, she'll have to turn into Christian Bale from American Psycho at this point. But
I know people call her a crisis actor.
But not to roast. But the real reason she's a real girl is all girls have the carpenter thing on the back with the circle. That's
honestly, yes. Every single girl has some like little banister thing like that. If you're in
another thing that
word, but I was like, I had to point it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think another thing is that you look at a bedside table, like it's literally filled with like lotions and stuff. Any self-respecting woman is going to have moisturizing cream before she puts on before she goes to bed.
You guys
And let's not forget.
animal on the side. It's a dog.
Oh yeah.
And let's not forget the dream catcher we just saw a minute ago. The dream catcher, every girl has that for some strangers.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I know it's all like in my head, but I really do think they catch bad dreams. So,
oh man, they must have paid this girl like 10,000 grand to come on the show. Yeah, like we have 10,000 grand to pay out for people like that. Okay.
Yeah, like we literally have like 10K to like pay people off. Sure.
No way. Our
Again,
next topic is going to be Chile versus.
Yeah. Do you have $10, my brother? You got $10?
That's for another time, another episode, man. We're getting pretty late right now. But one thing we did have to do in the beginning, please, we need 100 subscribers by the end of May. We mentioned this in the beginning. So summer, we have a little challenge going on with our subscribers. We need 100 subscribers by the end of May so we can do a bad movie watch, and that being Velocipastor or Dracula 3000. Those are two horrible movies. I hope you will join us for that if you want to and review it with us. And just talk about your experience with it. So please, everybody, 100 subscribers by end of May. Road to 100 subscribers. Hope we can get there. I mean, we're almost there, kind of. But please, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your grandparents, tell your uncles and aunties. Please do.
Tell your mom.
Again, exactly. Tell your moms.
Tell your moms we said hi. Tell your moms we said hi.
Now you get a little creepy mode.
Yeah, but also, if you have any questions, if you have any questions for us, please email us at thoughtgang65. That's THOTGANG 65@gmail.com. Moog, the Instagram, please.
It is thoughts_podcast. That is THOUGHTS_podcast. That's me. And Ivy, what's our Twitter handle?
The Twitter is Thought Podcast 2, no spaces.
Yes. So please email us. Tell us how much you love Summer on this episode, because we definitely love seeing her, and she will be on multiple other episodes, and hopefully she can invite some of her friends as well. And it's gonna be a whole barrel of fun. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna get wild, guys.
Yes.
We're gonna get wild.
Again, enjoy this extra long podcast episode we did. Hope you guys enjoyed every minute of it. I'm sure we did. But,
we sure as hell did, guys. We sure as hell did.
Yeah. But once again, thank you, Summer. This has been the Any Thoughts podcast. Wishing you all well.
Peace.
Peace, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah.